Ja Leute, willkommen bei einem Livestream von uns. Wie schon versprochen, sagte ich, dass wir halt auch Bandai Namco streamen werden, aber leider finde ich da nichts. Wie es so aussieht, meinte Namco, dass sie das nicht brauchen halt. Überließen es wohl E3 selbst. Und ich möchte es euch gerne, weil ich habe versprochen, dass ich euch was zeigen werde. Und ich werde es euch zeigen. Leider muss ich es wohl vom GameSpot aus zeigen. Hoffe, die striken nicht dafür. Wie gesagt, ich werde sie wohl auch noch linken, ihren Kanal. Die Herrschaften machen immer gute Arbeit. Halt, sie, glaube ich, berichten über Spiele, machen Reviews und so weiter. 3 Minuten fehlen uns noch. Vielleicht finde ich da noch was, weil ich glaube nicht, dass sie die Arbeit anderen überlassen, Bandai Namco. Oder vielleicht irre ich mich ja. Warten wir noch 3 Minuten, noch 2 Minuten warte ich. Und die letzten Sekunden schaue ich mich noch um. Und wenn es nicht geht, dann... Dieses Spiel könnte ich auch Let's Playen. Obwohl, solche Spiele spielt eher Shira. Ich würde es vielleicht im Privaten dann zocken. Das war krass. Das Gute ist, dass die Herrschaften, die Damen von GameSpot hier nicht irgendwelche Live-Kommentare machen. So kann ich halt frei herumsprechen. Manche schreiben da Black Clover. Ich würde auch gerne ein Spiel von Black Clover haben. So ein richtiges Kampfspiel. Okay Leute, jetzt schaue ich es mir nochmal an.
A different kind of tone of presentation.
Would you like me to hold your hand during this presentation?
Sure, Puppy. I'm okay with that. You know, that's great.
Yeah, if you're not familiar, everybody, of course, this is going to be Bandai Namco. I still want to say Namco Bandai. It's when they changed the name, it was years ago, and it still screws me up to this day.
Okay, die haben wohl kein eigenes.
Games on the Dark Picture Anthology, a whole bunch of different horror games that are coming out in quick succession. This is the 3rd one in the anthology already. But if you didn't know them before, of course, Supermassive made Until Dawn, a breakout PlayStation hit that then led to this deal. Of course, they've done Man of Medan already. Now they did Little Hope, and now it's time to see more of House of Ashes. And so yeah, this one's an exciting, different thing, right, Jackie?
Well, I have been closely monitoring every trailer, any gameplay that has dropped on this, and it is so scary. Like, I really cannot emphasize that enough. But for me, it has to be more than scary.
Die sprechen, glaube ich, über House of Ashes.
For some reason, the story really hits with me, and you can also tell that they've invested so much time into this project, and I'm really hoping we get more of an inside look here, because I am on board, and it is bloody and gory and aliens, and I'm here for it.
Yeah, of course.
Not your cup of tea, but 100% mine.
You know what? Hey, I'm here for it.
Drink
I'm
it
gonna
up,
watch it. I'm gonna watch it all.
Opposing forces get dropped into a Sumerian temple, right? And all sorts of supernatural elements start popping out. We'll see what's going on here. So, Golden Boy, we need you to get psyched up. We need you to get ready.
Oh no,
Bros, wir lieben euch.
I'm gonna be very scared.
Aber bitte zeigt uns endlich etwas.
And I'm gonna, I'm gonna be horrified because it's gonna be great. It's time though for our next presenter, and here with their 2021 E3 presentation is Bandai Namco presents House of Ashes.
Sagte ich doch, House of Ashes. Viele, die das Spiel ausprobiert haben oder es konnten halt ausprobieren, weil manche haben nicht die Chance dafür, Spiele, bevor sie released werden, auszuprobieren. Meinten, dass das Spiel nicht so der Hauer ist. Aber ich mag solche kleine Horrorgeschichten. Und wir haben natürlich auch die ersten 2 Teile der Dark Pictures Anthologie. Und die werden entweder ich oder Shira auch noch Let's Playen.
Satellite sweeps of the war zone have uncovered what appears to be an underground storage facility. But I strongly suspect it's where chemical weapons are hidden.
Hey, war das nicht der Schritt, hieß der?
To descend into the unknown alone is extremely brave.
Man out, hold fire.
Or extremely foolish.
We're gonna psy out this shit.
Brothers in arms, or will it be a case of each man for himself?
Down, get down! They're up on the ridge! Return fire!
You teeter on the edge of an abyss. Your survival depends on the choices you make. They will be as a compass, guiding you through the unknown.
Where on God's green earth have we landed?
What nightmare have these luckless souls fallen into?
You keep lookout.
Look out? Look out for what?
One by one, their lights will be snuffed out. Unless you can find the means to save them. Trapped beneath the earth, swallowed by the void. Will you find the path to salvation? Or be lost in the darkness?
Was genau sind?
Forever.
Ich glaube, das sind wieder solche Wendigos. Doch nicht. Das war zu früh. Sie hätten uns die Viecher nicht zeigen sollen. Wir hätten halt es selber herausfinden sollen, wie sie aussehen und so weiter. Ihr Geheimnis.
We're here at Supermassive to talk about the next game in the Dark Pictures anthology, House of Ashes. And I'm joined by exec producer Dan. How you doing?
Hello.
Thank you for joining us. Right, so let's start at the very start. We're going to be talking about House of Ashes for most of the interview, but for those that don't know, tell us about the Dark Pictures anthology.
The Dark Pictures is a series of narrative, story-driven, branching horror stories. Each one is standalone. They each tell a different story, completely separated from the others, but within the same universe, so there is connection between them all. House of Ashes is set at the end of the Iraq War in 2003, with links 4,000 years ago that set the story up.
So tell us more about the theme and themes, I suppose, within House of Ashes.
It starts off with a military unit. They've got some new technology that can look for weapons of mass destruction underground. They think they've identified something in the Zagros Mountains in Iraq, and then as part of that they come into conflict with an Iraqi unit. There's a pitched firefight, and then the two groups are plunged underground. There's an earthquake of some sort, and it's revealed that there's a hidden temple underground, these big massive structures, but these different groups, they're all separated. Radio contact is lost, and they're submerged in this black darkness.
Where on God's green earth have we landed?
And then they're going to start hearing things and seeing things, and people are going to start disappearing.
What the just happened?
So this time it's a very real threat.
All of the Dark Pictures games, they all pull something from real life or from history, from fact. What's the case with the myth or historical part of House of Ashes?
Bitte erklär das
So we
jetzt
love looking at and reading myths and legends and stories and doing our research, and we know our fans love it as well because there's something that they can link into afterwards, and I love doing that when I'm playing games or watching movies myself. So this one's set 4,000 years ago, the Akkadian Empire, and this terrible evil that happened. We had this self-proclaimed god king, Naram Sin, and he essentially cursed his people. He sacked this temple and brought famine and devastation to his own people. And so a lot of the history is lost, but we've done a lot of research about it, and then we had a lot of happy accidents that linked into the story we wanted to tell. And the fun thing for us is we get to do our own take on it. We get to twist it, and obviously we've made our own truth from it.
At the end of the sneak peek, the trailer, we saw monsters. Tell us a bit more about what's going on there.
The military unit that you're playing as, they don't really know what they're coming up against. They're not human, they're bigger, they're larger, they're faster. the team aren't going to know if there's one or two of them or hundreds or thousands of them. And that's kind of the threat with this. You know, they've got guns. Maybe they could try and take one of them down. But maybe there's another one around the corner, or maybe there's a group of them, and maybe they're going to get ambushed.
Maybe they're like a cluster.
Exactly,
and
yeah.
they all pop
A
out at
nest,
once.
as it were.
Yeah.
And it's been really fun to work on and see these things move around and how horrific they can be. They're different to us. They perceive the world in a different way. Getting little snippets of it in the darkness, and did I see that? Was it something that moved?
Mann, du brauchst uns nicht alles zu erzählen. Wir sollen ja alles selber entdecken dann.
Who's there?
We like to try and misdirect people on things, you know, that did you see something, did you not? And that's a great thing within horror, that you think you're going to be scared right now, and we're not going to scare you now, we'll scare you in a minute when you're not expecting it.
It's always coming.
Yeah, always.
So should we expect a huge amount of peril in the game?
Definitely. We love to do it. You know, it's fun for us to work on. As horrific as it is, and we know that our fans love it as well. So yeah, there's at least 60 unique deaths, and there's a whole ton of variation on that as well. So Merwin and some of the others, you're going to see different things happening to them depending on how you play it out. You know, getting ripped and shredded and torn, and because there's a firefight, there's going to be bullets flying as well, and all kinds of stuff. And it's not just the deaths; it's the gore that goes along with it, and you know, lots of blood.
Wicked. It sounds absolutely terrifying. I'm in.
Ja, was kann ich darüber erzählen, Leute? Das Wichtige ist, dass die Geschichte von House of Ashes wirklich von einer Mythologie oder so kommt, von einem akkadianischen Imperium damals. Die haben halt das alles gesammelt und so weiter, haben ein paar Infos geholt und haben sozusagen versucht, es wiederzubeleben. Es geht halt so um einen König, einen selbsternannten Gottkönig, der begonnen hat, alle seine... Er hat begonnen, halt die Bevölkerung zu verfluchen, und die, glaube ich, sind dann zu Monstern mutiert. Und jetzt sind wir hier und sollen diese dann beseitigen. Wir werden eh sehen, Alter, weil ich werde sicher noch Let's Playen.
We love the lighting that we do, this sort of really inky black darkness that we have, and sort of the contrast to the bright areas. And so you're going to need to lean on that torch to allow you to see where you're going, what the threat is, and that kind of stuff. We've also done things like added difficulty settings to this game. So in Little Hope we added you know, QTE warning icons as an example, and we've got some really good positive feedback about that.
Ich glaube, der Typ ist nur hergekommen, um wirklich darüber zu sprechen, Alter. Aber halt nicht so ein paar kleine Details herausgeben, sondern gleich alles. Bro, wir haben es eh verstanden.
Spoilers, yeah, but that's what we come here for.
Oh mein Gott, endlich! Endlich! Jetzt kommt sie darauf, dass es kleine Spoiler geben könnte.
She researched Rachel, she understood her when she came on the set, which is so refreshing. She knew her inside out. And Rachel is a flawed character, so she brought that through so fantastically. The rest of the cast were fantastic as well.
When we were looking for Joey, Salim helped me.
You didn't tell me this because...
You'd flip your shit.
We want you to connect to these characters and understand them as humans. We want them to seem real because they're real to us. You know, we spend a long time designing them, and I don't mind if you hate any one individual character because you don't like everyone in real life. But maybe you'll like them when you see the journey they go on.
Maybe you'll like them once they're dead and you feel bad about it.
And you feel bad about it, definitely.
Yeah.
But also we want you to save them. We want you to try and save them. You know, we know that some people want to get everyone killed straight away, and that's fine. That's their playthrough. Cool. That's what they want to do. But you know, can you get everyone out alive and save as many as you can?
Das liebe ich bei diesem Spiel.
So,
man kann wirklich alle am Leben halten.
Favorite scenes. So Salim, our Iraqi soldier, and Jason Kolchak, one of the Marines that's there. There's a way that can play out, and a sort of contest between them, and you can make it go in a number of different ways.
The enemy of my enemy is my friend.
It's really emotional. Seeing them film it, I was lucky enough to be there, and then seeing that come through in game, I think we've got something there. I think that's gold. And then, of course, I love scaring people, so I love the jump scares. I love the moments of tension that we bring. We can't hold you in that moment, so we've got some fantastic jokes in there as well to allow you to relax for a moment before we scare you again.
To take your mind off the imminent threat. I like that. Dan, thank you so much. This has been really cool to talk about, and I'm sure, you know, I'm excited and terrified in equal part, and everyone else is just excited, I'm sure of it.
And it's been a real pleasure to speak to you, and I can't wait to get it into people's hands.
Bro, 15 Minuten sind schon weg. Kommt schon, zeigt uns, was wir wollen. Shadow Wars 3. Oh, die Figur sieht cool aus.
Before we dive in the House of Ashes, see how scared you got. Of course, we want to thank Razer for being one of the E3 2021 sponsors. Of course, giving us these tired old blades nobody cares about. But this Blade 14 RTX 3080 built right in. Of course, the Razer.
I'm taking that.
Thank you so much. No, I'm taking that.
Okay, we'll fight.
Okay, well,
we've done it before.
Das haben wir gestern gesehen. Razer Blade 14, glaube ich, sind das.
Nobody wants these anymore, right? Doesn't worry. Golden Boy, you just saw the Dark Pictures anthology.
Yeah.
Your first glimpse of it. We have some reactions from you.
Oh, you do?
They were recording you. They said you were a little scared, not terrified.
Not terrified, thankfully, because it was just a a normal trailer, which is fine.
See,
there's my face.
You're unsettled for sure.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. No, you don't like that. You
don't like that. No, not a fan of that one either. Nope. Nope. Yeah, I think that was one of the jumps.
Dark Picture Anthology at House of Ashes, so Supermassive Games.
Was genau passiert hier, Leute?
Being published by Bandai Namco.
Macht Bandai Namco nicht seine eigene Konferenzen mehr? Weil jetzt, wie ich es so verstanden habe, moderieren sie für Bandai Namco.
I played Man of Medan, which was interesting because I hadn't really played Until Dawn, so I didn't know what to expect even hopping into that one, but there was some sort of satisfaction kind of going through it all and seeing everyone die. Yeah. So now I'm thinking about how they're talking about all of the bloody deaths coming and House of Ashes. I'm like, let's see if we can run this back.
I was gonna say, because the dev was saying that, like, obviously there are people who you're gonna want to kill, or at least there are always players who are gonna try and kill everyone. I am a player who will try and save as many as I can, so I can't really identify. Tam, what's your experience with these ones?
Yeah, I played a bunch of Man of Medan, and I went to like a kind of like spoke to the developers behind it, and I think the thing about it for me currently is the ambition that the developers.
So Leute, hab mein Mikro geschlagen. Leute, ich frage mich immer noch, tut mir jetzt wirklich sehr leid, dass ich das mache, ob Bandai Namco wirklich nicht... Nein, die machen das wirklich nicht selber. Die haben es einfach den anderen überlassen und die machen das für sie. Weil sonst wäre es ja Dings... Okay.
How that impacts the people around it, the mental states of them, and then them knowing that in terms of gameplay they needed to shake it up a bit. I think that is really good, a really good sign going into this new entry in that series. So I am definitely more inclined to keep an eye on it and check it out when it comes out for sure.
Yeah, I think to your point there, if you think about Until Dawn, I remember when that one was announced, what came out 2015, I remember it being announced like way ahead, and it was very different. I think I remember it was like
Achso, ihr Cam ist glaube ich kaputt.
Use the PS Move as sort of your torch or flashlight, and then ultimately like the way that game evolved. And so maybe Supermassive have learned something, and they're just kind of making these shorter experiences that are still, full to the brim of player choice, but are maybe less ambitious in all the millions of different permutations you could potentially get in Until Dawn. I'm probably over-exaggerating when I say millions, but definitely a lot. So it's good to see, and also means that they can be a little bit quicker when it comes to reacting to things like player feedback. As you can see, they're changing their accessibility options, which is always
Hoffentlich, Leute, mache ich hier nichts Falsches, indem ich mir das hier anschaue, weil es ist schön, dass sie darüber was erzählen, aber ich habe mich wirklich umgesehen. Die machen eine E3, Bandai Namco, aber ich finde nichts über sie. Ich habe auch die halt ihre eigenen offiziellen Seiten besucht und jetzt hören wir denen zu, was das, und ich will ehrlich sein, mich interessiert das auch Null, Alter, was die mir da jetzt erzählen. Weil die Leute wollen wirklich sowas wie neue Ankündigungen sehen. Viele hoffen auf ein Xenoverse 3. Was gibt es da noch? Ich erwarte wirklich immer noch auf ein Black Clover, hoffe ich immer noch auf ein Black Clover Spiel. So ein Kampfspiel, aber nicht so wie letztens. Das sah wie ein Shinobi-Strike aus, aber bei Naruto haben sie es einfach besser hinbekommen. Das geht.
Obviously, my guilty pleasure was High School Musical back in the day, so I'm very. Hey, it is not a guilty pleasure. It is a pleasure. Pop, 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 pop to the top, and I felt like maybe we'll see that out of House of Ashes, rising to the top, because, like you were mentioning before, there are a lot of elements where they might have fallen short before, and I feel like they're kind of addressing all of that now. We saw from the mocap sessions, and even hearing like the voice acting and how people like Ashley Tisdale approach becoming a character, it looks very involved, so I'm interested to see more. And they were mentioning, we gotta find new ways to scare people, but they definitely had no issues scaring me in the ones that I've played, so I'm like, do you? But for everyone else who's, much tougher than I am when it comes to horror games, they are specifically looking towards you guys to seemingly make scarier things happen, and I'm just gonna have to brace myself for it.
House of Ashes is coming out later this year. So this is the final day of the official E3 broadcast. We still have 2 more days of GameSpot's Play for All. So it's going to be packed full of developer interviews, exclusive trailers.
Ihr habt's gehört, Leute. Die werden noch 2 weitere Tage halt was Zusätzliches machen. Interviews mit halt den Spieleentwicklern. Dann, glaube ich, werden sie ein paar Gameplays zeigen von den neuen Games. Also könnt ihr bei denen dann einschalten und dann halt beobachten, was da auf euch zukommt. Der hat ein sehr schönes Zimmer hinten. Oder er hat das wie wir gemacht, einfach alles dorthin gestellt, damit man es sieht.
You're not going to get an Elden Ring here, you won't see Halo pop up, you won't have any AAA games like that. However, the games that are going to be there are really cool, they're really interesting. I hand selected a bunch of them myself, and my approach to it was like, I'm going to pick a bunch of games that I know my friends are going to like. And there's games in there that I thought about when I saw them. It was like, oh, this person that I work with is going to love this, or this person I know is going to love this. And they're all games that are tied together thematically or in terms of purpose, in that they are exploring interesting subject matter that is often not explored in AAA games, or they're created by teams of diverse perspectives, or they're created by, teams that want to have a message, or they're games that are designed to be uplifting and cozy and that kind of stuff. This is the kind of stuff that I think is going to be, like I said, not blockbuster games that you're going to be like, holy
Leute, wirklich, das alles tue ich mir nur an, weil ich euch das versprochen habe, sonst hätte ich mir das nicht weitergegeben. Ich will ehrlich sein. Und eine Stimme in mir sagt die ganze Zeit, ja, beende den Stream, aber ich bin leider so einer. Wenn ich etwas versprochen habe, dann ziehe ich es auch durch. Aber die Herrschaften reden wirklich sehr viel. Das ist ihre Arbeit, natürlich sollten sie das, aber ich dachte, es gibt wirklich eine E3, Bandai Namco E3, und jetzt sehen wir halt ein paar Arbeiter von GameSpot, die über, weiß ich nicht, die reden nicht einmal mehr über House of Ashes. Einfach über ihre Experience und so weiter und so fort. Die eine hat über Until Dawn gesprochen, die eine hat über High School Musical gesprochen.
Giving people things to get excited about. So we made an effort to make sure that there's always going to be something that someone watching there is going to be like, oh, that's cool. Or as in the interview sections, there's stuff there that you're going to say like, oh, that's an interesting perspective or subject matter. So yeah, please do check it out and share it and let people know. This is the first time we've done anything like this, and I hope that people take to it, because I'd love to do more of it.
Yeah, well, that is today at 3:30 p.m. or 3:35, I think it is, if you want the specific timings. We'll be streaming the whole thing. You can also find it on the ESA's broadcast, E3's broadcast. But it's going to be a good time, and Tam's put a lot of hard work, as well as the folks at the Mix, to put it all together. So make sure you watch. That's not all that we have today. The official E3 awards are also happening. Persia, I mean, what do you think is going to be, what do you think is the game that is going to like walk away with the most awards today?
I mean, it's tough because when I first started watching all the press conferences, as they were coming by, every conference had something that caught my eye.
Leute, das kann das nicht sein.
You know, I gotta stick with my roots. Like, the Halo multiplayer looked really, really good. It got me super excited, and honestly,
Die sprechen jetzt über Halo.
I've watched it so many times, slowing it down, looking at everything.
Bitte, Namco, sag mir, dass du was machst.
And it just reminds me of the old days when I used to play so much Halo 2 and, like, you know, breaking the game down with friends, and I'm ready to run it all back.
Da sehen wir es,
You know, holiday
wie es aussieht, macht Bandai Namco keine eigenen E3s, Conferences, sondern überlassen es wohl anderen. Also müssen wir da durch, Leute.
You know, some friends of mine, we've been kind of trying out like VTM and stuff, and there was also a VTM game too. There's just so much. It's just hard to pin down. It's hard to pin down anything, but Halo is definitely going to be it for me.
Tam, what about you?
You know the answer to this. You know the answer to this.
Well, does it count though? Because it was in a different show.
I do not care. In the last month, the best thing to happen to the world has been an Elden Ring trailer and a release date. We got a release date and a trailer. That is wild. Elden Ring is of the event of the E3 season, the Summer Games mess. Elden Ring is my pick. But if I had to pick outside of that, I would have said Halo, but Persia.
Mann, die Leute von Bandai Namco denken sich auch bestimmt, Leute, okay, das war's. Zeigt die weiteren Spiele, die Trailer.
Such a cool looking game, but if I had to pick one of those, Metroid Dread, easy.
Yeah, I mean, it's been, I don't know, like, I've been sort of trying to make a list as we've gone through E3 about games that I've really got my eye on. Definitely Elden Ring, absolutely Redfall, Halo as well, Breath of the Wild 2, Mario plus Rabbids. Also, I'm weirdly excited about Rocksmith Plus, even though, like, it's a piece of training software, I suppose. But I think for me, Persia, you kind of nailed it when you were talking about Redfall. Like, anything that Arcane makes, I'm gonna just absolutely eat up. And I love that this, obviously it is a CGI trailer, not indicative of gameplay at all, but the world that they look like they're working in and building.
Leute, dann erzähle ich mal, dann bewerte ich mal ein paar Spiele, die wir letztens gesehen haben. Zum Beispiel Elden Ring, haben sie ja gerade gesprochen. Ich glaube, es ist so ein Dark Souls Spiel, halt Souls-like. Es sieht gut aus und ich will ehrlich sein, als sie sagten, George R.R. Martin macht mit, habe ich wirklich so etwas wie Herr der Ringe oder so erwartet, oder Dragon Age. Halt eine Welt mit einer krassen Story und mit krassen Charakteren. Halt Charakteren, die einem wirklich die man lieb bekommt halt irgendwann. Und ja, Fähigkeiten, dies, das, Drachen natürlich, viele Drachen. Und dann sagen sie ja, nein, sie haben halt einen Trailer gezeigt und da dachte ich mir, das ist jetzt Dark Souls. Nennt's gleich Dark Souls 4.
I loved it too. I'm not gonna lie. I'm a sucker for Groot, alright? I will just throw it out there. I'm such a sucker for Groot, and watching it was really exciting. And I want to see more. I want to see, you know, what else we can do. Like, am I gonna see maybe Baby Groot at some point? Like, equally heartbreaking but exciting at the idea of it happening. And yeah, I agree. It looked really good. Gamora, she kind of has her outfit that's more closer to her older design and not really her MCU design, which is my personal favorite because she was my main in Marvel Infinite, who also
Leute,
has
die sprechen nicht mehr. Schaue ich mir das Richtige hier an? Es ist eine... Das ist Bandai Namco E3?
Yep. I love it, so I'm looking forward to it too.
Yeah. Any other games that caught your eye, Tam?
Bitte fragt nichts mehr. Leute, die sprechen nicht mehr über irgendwelche Spiele, die von Bandai Namco produziert wurden.
That looked really cool. But other than that, yeah, I think I need to go back and really check out. Like 12 Minutes got a release date, and I'm hyped as hell about that. But
Ja,
I want to
gut
go
machst
back
du das.
and watch a bunch of those. Starfield, we could say Starfield as well, I guess. Like nothing in terms of gameplay, but the vibe of it was really cool, and I'm excited for that. But yeah, I think all those games that are coming to Game Pass are my games of the show.
Game Pass is the game.
Game Pass is my game of the show.
It's also really strange to hear about like E3 awards with no one going hands-on with anything. Like, because that was always sort of the best bit of E3 is like walking around the booths and having hands-on with the games there, and then
Langsam vermisse ich die alte E3-Zeiten. Damals hätten wir sowas nicht gesehen. Die wären einfach auf der Bühne, hey, hier kommt ein weiterer Trailer, ein zweiter Trailer, dritter Trailer und ciao, Papa.
So I'm stoked for that. We should talk about what else we're doing as a part of Playful. So we have 2 days of live streams starting tomorrow, 9 a.m. I believe, running until about 2 or 3. So we're kind of all going to be anchoring like Tam, Persia and I, Kurt, Dave, going to be popping on as well, and then we're going to be chatting about the interviews and the hands-on and all of the gameplay and trailers that we're going to be showing. I don't know how public our schedule is yet. Tam, maybe you can speak to
I don't
that.
I don't think it's super public, but what we can say is around E3 we're usually given access to a bunch of, you know, executives and people who you would have seen on stage at E3, or developers that are key minds behind some of these games. And as always, we did interviews with them, we spoke to them, and we've kind of been storing that up for the next couple of days. Now that the hubbub of the press conferences and the reveals is out of the way, now you'll be able to really dig into some of the games that have been shown and also hear from the people that are behind it. So we will have interviews with the likes of Pete Hines, and we'll have interviews with Nintendo folks and folks that are working on games. So it is well worth tuning in over the next couple
Bro,
of days.
das könnt ihr auch zum Schluss machen.
It's kind of the storm has passed now, so we're kind of calming down. So we're just gonna have fun.
War das alles, was vielleicht Bandai Namco präsentieren wollte? House of Ashes und dann fertig? Kann nicht sein. 100% haben sie noch was in der Hinterhand. Zum Beispiel Demon Slayer. Das Spiel, vielleicht habt ihr es noch nicht gesehen oder so, aber ich habe viele Trailer schon gesehen. Das haben sie noch nicht richtig announced.
And I mean, I know you said that we're slowing down, but we're not really. So if you remember what we did for Playful last year, it was a 6-week-long event where we had sort of the E3 side of it. We had like every major press conference in that time, so obviously everyone was more spread out than just being an E3 week, and so it was 6 weeks long. And if we weren't doing something about new releases or press conferences, we were running charity streams. We raised a lot of money last year for Black Lives Matter and direct relief COVID support. So this year, that's coming back in earnest. We are partnering with Able Gamers to raise money for them. Fantastic charity that helps people with disabilities just play games, and like their mission is so strong. And we were talking to Steve Swan, who is going to be joining us on a live stream next week, and the fact that gaming helps bring people together, it's like just this joyous activity that
Normalerweise ja,
you know, you're all gamers,
Gaming bringt die Leute zusammen, aber
especially over quarantine, it's helped to bring so many people
Leute, kommt schon.
not only in accessibility consulting, but also in changing pieces of hardware so that people with disabilities can play. I mean, I know this is like, their tagline is so that everyone can play, and that is such a strong mission. So we are going to be raising money to go towards their Spawn Together initiative that Steve's put together. Tam, do you want to talk a little bit about what we've got planned?
Yeah, so the Spawn Together initiative is kind of this community effort to get to, I believe it's $1 million raised. And like Lucy said, they work on making peripherals and making stuff easier, but they also have an educational track for the things that they do, where they have help people kind of educate themselves on how to design games to be more accessible. So it's a super important cause, and to support that cause, we've brought in friends from around the industry, and you know, there are people that we're fans of and we wanted to work with and we're excited to work with, and we're going to say who they are, a few of them, but stuff is fluid, people are always moving in and out, so you know, you never know, there could be some last minute changes, but obviously we are going to be partnering with our friends at Giant Bomb. We're going to have a stream with that crew there. We're going to have Jake Baldino is going to be
Leute, ich schaue mich mal um. Vielleicht finde ich
We're
ein...
going to be playing some Metal Gear, and we're going to be doing some really goofy stuff with Metal Gear. If you're a fan of anime, you will obviously know the YouTuber Super Eyepatch Wolf.
We expected to see it today, but I don't think we expected to see this much. This gave me chills.
Okay, ich verstehe. Die sind noch nicht...
What Remains of Edith Finch, and you wanted to play that on stream, and we did that. So we've
Peggy
brought him
6.
back, and we've teamed him up with
Leute, wirklich, es tut mir sehr leid und ich verstehe auch jeden, der halt rausgeht von diesem Livestream. Wie gesagt, ich tue das wirklich nur, weil ich versprochen habe, dass ich etwas zeigen werde von Bandai Namco, aber wenn die ehrlich gesagt zu faul sind, um ihre eigenen Free-Conferences zu machen, kann ich dafür auch nichts, wirklich. Wie gesagt, ich schaue mich mal da noch ein bisschen um. Das da, glaube ich, habe ich eh schon offen.
And we've also got Steve Swan from Able Gamers.
And so the last part of that is just a shot of the castle raising and the date. It's supposedly coming next year, and they said that they went out.
An interactive choose your own adventure. It's wickedly twisted. He streams it quite frequently. He did a charity stream the other week, and I popped on, and I had the best time. And it's like all interactive with Twitch. He does some really cool stuff there, so you won't want to miss it. We're going to be streaming twice daily, 10 a.m. PT until 12 p.m. PT is kind of like the morning slot, and then 2 p.m. PT till 4 p.m. the afternoon slot, except the Friday is just one big long stream with us and our friends at Giant Bomb. Very excited for that one, because obviously, like, I mean, Tam right there is repping the Giant Bomb right now. Unintentionally, I see.
Always, always. No, I did it on purpose. I was like, I'm gonna wear my Giant Bomb t-shirt today because I need the energy. But yeah, those are just a few of them. We've got way more people lined up. It's gonna be fun, and like I said, we're raising money. We've set our goal.
Leute, ich glaube, Bandai Namco hat schon alles
präsentiert. The last part of that is just a shot of the castle raising and the date. It's supposedly coming next year, and they said that they went out of their way to say that they're aiming for 2022, which means, you know, they maybe not. We'll see. But I think the thing that's most interesting is all the theories that are flying around right now about, is it set across multiple timelines? Are you playing different characters? How does it tie into these other Zelda games? Because there's a lot of things that are pointing towards Skyward Sword.
Leute, ich glaube, die haben wirklich nur House of Ashes präsentiert. Das kann nicht sein, oder?
Yeah, I mean, it's gonna be a lot of fun. We've put a lot of heart.
Leute, ich schaue mir was
the last part of
Ich sag's euch, die hatten wirklich nur vor House of Ashes zu präsentieren. Okay, Leute, dann tut mir leid, dass ich wirklich euch aufgehalten habe. Und ja, danke, dass ihr trotzdem reingeschaut habt. Und ja, man sieht sich dann in weiteren Let's Plays. Natürlich haben wir vor, auch andere Events beizutreten, halt zu veranstalten oder halt mitzumachen. Und ja, und andere Videos werden wir auch mal machen, halt solche wie Kritikvideos und so weiter, wie mein Bruder eines gemacht hat. Und ja, sonst sage ich Dankeschön, dass ihr da reingeschaut habt. Und ja, ich wünsche euch einen schönen Tag noch. Warte, schönen Tag kann ich nicht mehr sagen, es ist ja schon Nacht. Ja, ich wünsche euch halt eine schöne Nacht. Und ja, man sieht sich dann. Bis bald, Leute.